Hey guys, Charlie from Airplane Academy here. Welcome back to another episode. I'm pumped to have you. One of the things that I think can get pilots in trouble is pride. And not the good kind of pride that's like thankfulness and gratitude to be in aviation, not that. It's the unhealthy pride. It's the I'm invincible pride. I'm untouchable. I can't get hurt doing this kind of pride. And I think a good way to kind of combat against that is to be honest about the things that we're working on, the things that we, see deficiencies within ourselves or things that we want to go grow in. And so I thought I'd just share some of those things that I'm working on today. I've got about 700 hours, which is kind of an interesting middle zone because I have, the first many hundred hours under my belt. I've gotten to experience some cool things, make some mistakes along the way, learn from them, but I don't have like thousands and thousands of hours. And so it's kind of an easy point where it would be really easy to get complacent and just think, I've done, this enough times to where I can stop, not be as attentive about certain things in my flying. And so I thought I'd just share here some of the things I'm working on. And then at the end, I'd really love to hear from you down in the comments. What are the things you're working on? Whether you haven't started your pilot's license yet, and here's the things I'm working on getting ready for that, or maybe you're a student pilot, here are the things I'm learning, or you're a really seasoned pilot, and here are the things that even, at 10,000 hours, here are the things that I'm still learning in aviation. I think it'd be a really rich discussion down below to hear what we're all working on, and so I will take the first shot at that and tell you what I'm working on. The first thing I'm actively working on as a pilot is my energy management. In case you missed it, a couple weeks ago, I did a video talking about a flying technique that really improved my landings, and it really centers around energy management and airspeed control. And so I'm trying to be really, really disciplined, even when I'm landing on 5, 6, 7,000 foot airstrips or runways. I'm trying to be really disciplined about my energy management and airspeed control, because one of the areas that I really want to get into is backcountry flying. And I've done a little bit of this, but eventually I'd love to get a Bush airplane and really have that be the type of flying that I love to go do. And I know if I build hundreds or thousands of hours of really bad habits of energy management and always flying in way too fast, that's going to be really hard to unwind when I go try to do the flying that I really want to do one day. So even now, I'm trying to kind of start training for that so that even on long paved runways, I'm still kind of prepping myself for kind of shorter airstrip backcountry type flying. The second thing I'm actively working on is trying new things. And this is both in terms of, new flying experiences, but then also kind of in my aviation networking and meeting new people. Recently, I got to go to Big Bend National Park in West Texas. And in case you didn't see it, I did a video on a cool strip we went into there. Link will be in the corner and down in the description. And, one, I got to experience a new place I'd never been before, which is awesome. But then also I learned a lot from it. I learned that I wish I would have prepped for that trip a little bit differently in terms of how I researched the strips we were going into. And so, any new flying experience, you're going to get to learn something from. A couple months ago, I got to interview an astronaut for the first time and just try to work up the courage to reach out and ask him if I could talk to him about aviation. And we had a wonderful time. We got to film all of it. That video will be posting here shortly. I can't wait to show it to you. But just trying to kind of grow and reach out and do new experiences. One recent website that I became aware of is airfield.guide. So not .com, it's airfield.guide. And I've gotten to meet some of the guys over that have put that together. And they've started to build a really wonderful resource documenting some kind of backcountry strips all over the country. There's a lot in kind of Arkansas and the surrounding areas, but they've got them in other states as well. And it's a really nice resource they're developing. So if you're looking for some new places to go explore, particularly grass runways and that sort of thing, definitely go check out airfield.guide. They're putting something together that's really, really cool over there. So I'm just trying to experience more stuff. If you don't already have something on the calendar, I encourage you to plan your next trip. It doesn't have to be 1,500 miles. It can be 15 miles. But just go try to experience something new, because there's so much that we can learn from it anytime we do. The third area that I'm working on, and I'd probably say this might be my biggest deficiency as an aviator, is my maintenance knowledge. I wasn't the kid that got to grow up fixing stuff with his hands and I can fix anything, right? I've grown a lot in that area, I would say, but that's not what I did growing up. And so learning, intimately how all the systems, aircraft systems work and how to troubleshoot things, I would say I've grown a lot in that area since buying an airplane, because once you're in charge of maintenance, you start to learn kind of how and why things work. And when you're flying a lot more often, you learn how to troubleshoot things because you fly more and things go wrong and that sort of thing. So I'm growing in that area. I'm actually reading a book right now, which actually I'll go get it. It's in the, hold on. Okay, I got it. Aircraft Systems by David Lombardo. Really, really easy read. Well, for the most part, it's easy to understand as someone who hasn't really come from a huge mechanical background. There's some things that have definitely required me to go YouTube it and learn more. But just trying to take that next step of saying, what area am I weak in? Okay, aircraft systems and mechanical knowledge. Well, what can I do about that? Can I read a book? Can I go watch more YouTube videos? Can I go, work more closely with my mechanic when they're actually working on my airplane? Maybe do some of the work myself, that sort of thing. And so I want to get a lot better at that just to grow in my own confidence and proficiency in this area. And so I'm trying to take little baby steps towards doing that. The fourth thing that I'm working on is getting more actual instrument time, so some actual IFR. The bulk of my instrument training at this point has been simulated because I just don't get that many opportunities to go fly actual IFR. If I'm taking a trip somewhere and the weather's kind of coming down, I might get a little bit of actual time, but it wasn't planned. It just happened to be that way because I needed to exercise my instrument privileges. But now I'm trying to go a little bit more out of my way, and if I know the weather is going to be bad, but like stable air, not like unstable bad weather like thunderstorms and stuff, but like stable, just kind of steady low IFR that can end up being really good flying weather. It's just IFR. I'm trying to go bust into that and spend a Saturday morning shooting approaches. And so normally I think our reaction can be, oh, the weather's bad this week and I'm not going to go fly anywhere. But as an instrument pilot, I think I want to take more opportunities like that to be, oh, the weather's bad. What kind of bad weather is it? And if it's good, stable IFR, well, maybe that is going to be the perfect time to fly. So I'm trying to kind of shift my mindset a little bit of that and go fly when the weather's bad. The fifth thing I'm working on, both as a pilot and an aircraft owner, is evaluating my average mission. A couple months ago, I put out a video talking about 6 questions to ask yourself to identify what airplane would be right for you if you want to go buy one. And really those questions revolve around identifying the average mission that you're going to need that airplane to perform. And after going through those questions, I identified that a Cessna 182 would be a good fit for me. And honestly, it's been an awesome decision. I've loved every minute of owning and flying the 182. And I've really learned, though, that my favorite type of flying is when I get to go in the backcountry. And I've been on some trips that the 182 has enabled me to do, flying in northwestern Arkansas and going to Idaho a couple times. But each time I'm there's some more kind of off-airport operations that I probably could be better suited to do if I had a 180 or a 185 with some bush tires on it. And that is just, I think, a dream of mine to own that airplane. But for the time being, I'm really just trying to take an honest account of, what am I actually able to do in my 182 versus what, would be much better suited in a different airplane. And if that's happening pretty often, then there might be a good case to, move up an airplane, because a 180 or 185 would cost me more than I've got it in my current airplane, the 182. And so is that going to be justifiable, or is it just kind of a dream of mine that I'm just assuming that I need a 180 or 185 for, and then I don't actually do, I don't actually do that type of flying often enough to really justify it. So I'm just trying to take an average account of what my average mission actually is right now, so that I can identify whether or not that dream for 180 one day is actually really practical and a good decision, or something that after I just analyze it a little bit more, is something I don't actually need. So that's something I'm kind of working on being mindful of right now. And the sixth thing I'm really working on right now is recruiting more pilots. And I'm trying to do that through this channel and over at airplaneacademy.com. But I also just want to tell you, if you have been participating in the comments down below on any of these videos and helping answer people with their questions about flight training, or sharing your own experience or your aspirations for aviation, you are absolutely taking an active role in helping create more pilots. And I just want to thank you so much for doing that. And for those of you that are subscribed and have been following all these videos, thank you so much. For those of you that haven't yet subscribed, I just want to ask you to consider subscribing and kind of join this community that that we're building here of a place where pilots can ask a lot of questions and there's no judgment, and I'll be the first one to raise my hand and in this video tell you things that I'm working on and places that I'm deficient. And it's just so fun to get to read through the comments and see other people sharing kind of those same sentiments and sharing that journey. And so I just encourage you to subscribe to this channel and definitely hop in down below in the comments. And we seem to be creating more fervor for aviation, which is a huge goal of mine. I'm super thankful to get to be doing that. So thank you guys so much for participating in that journey along with me. So speaking of comments, now it's your turn. I really sincerely would love to hear from you down in the comments. What are the top 3 things that you're learning right now? And I think it would also be helpful if you don't mind just saying how many hours you have, how many flight hours you have, because I think it'd be really helpful for pilots all along the spectrum to hear what people are learning at the various stages. For example, I hope it was an encouragement maybe to someone who's got 5 hours out there to hear from me that I have 700 hours and I'm reading a book on aircraft systems, and I'm really I'm looking to learn more about that because I don't feel confident in that area. And so I think that'll be a helpful encouragement to everyone down below in the comments. And so I can't wait to participate in that discussion with you guys down there. So thanks for participating there. Thanks for watching today, and can't wait to see you guys in the next video.